You see that moment when 30,000 naira lands in your account and it feels like 3 million naira? I know that feeling because I lived it. I remember it like yesterday. I was sitting in a friend's living room, half listening to the TV. My mobile phone rang. Honestly, I almost ignored it. At that point in my life, most notifications felt like bad news, reminders of scarcity and things I didn't want to deal with. But something made me check. I picked up the phone, ready to swipe away another spam SMS. Instead, it was a credit alert. 30,841 naira 56 kobo. A dividend from a bank stock I had forgotten I even owned. Small number, small text, small moment, but inside me, everything shifted. For a second, I could breathe. Scarcity loosened its grip. That credit alert wasn't just money. It was oxygen. It was big hope arriving in a small credit alert. Now, let me be honest with you. At that time, I didn't fully understand what I was holding. I didn't yet see the treasure. My late father had been teaching us about investing for years, encouraging my siblings and me to buy shares, to be patient, to keep ledgers. He showed us stacks of newspaper clippings, handwritten records, years of discipline. But me, I thought there had to be a faster, shinier way. I wanted shortcuts. I wanted the comfort of looking successful before learning the wisdom of slow compounding and quiet growth. That 30K was a whisper, not a shout. But whispers carry wisdom if you lean in close enough to listen. That whisper taught me two lessons. First, money can show up without you showing up every single hour. And second, small repeated actions can become a steady stream if you let them. I remember staring at that screen and asking myself, what if I had more? What if I had 10 times the units of that stock? What if I had 100 times more? Or even 1,000 times? What would it feel like if one small alert like this became a 7-figure inflow from just one stock asset? For the first time, I didn't just dream of getting rich. I started to imagine the math of compounding. I started to wonder if my life, my family's life, could be quietly transformed by what I had overlooked all along. This month would have been my father's 81st birthday. He passed away in September, just 15 days after his birthday 4 years ago. And every September since, I find myself pausing, reflecting. My dad was never the loud, preaching type. He didn't stand on stages or force lessons into our ears. He taught differently. He taught through consistency, through ledgers carefully filled in, through a quiet, steady faith in small gains, through newspaper clippings tucked into files. Back then, I didn't always listen. Sometimes I ignored him. Sometimes I thought he was being too meticulous, too old-fashioned. But today, I see it clearly. His patience was the real inheritance he left me. Not money, not property. Patience, consistency, perspective. And it was that inheritance, buried deep inside, that made me stop one random day and notice a tiny alert on my phone. A dividend, just a little above 30,000 naira. To anyone else, maybe it was nothing. But because of him, I could see it differently, not as a small number, but as a seed, a signpost, a hidden treasure. If I had the chance to say one thing to him today, it would be a humongous, clumsy, grateful. Thank you. Thank you for refusing to give up on me when I brushed off your lessons. Thank you for the ledgers. Thank you for the clippings. Thank you for that quiet faith in small gains. He never preached loudly. He lived consistently. He never chased applause. He planted seeds. If I could hand him a letter today, it would simply say, your patience is the inheritance that's finally growing in me. And so, it feels fitting that in this same month of September, I am releasing my very first video, not by coincidence, but by conviction, because this is my way of carrying his legacy forward, turning his lessons into light for others. That is why this channel exists, not as a shrine to numbers, but as a space to reframe how we think about money. Because here's the truth. The mistake many people make is believing money itself will solve their problems. But it won't. Money doesn't transform you. It magnifies you. If you're careless, money multiplies that carelessness. If you're intentional, money rewards that intention. And that is the lesson I'm inviting you to explore with me. Not just how to grow wealth, but how to grow wisdom alongside it. On this journey to wealth, 3 essentials matter. First, mindset. This is the foundation for every financial choice. If your mindset is wrong, your money will magnify that wrongness. We must shift from get rich quick to grow wisely. That doesn't mean you can't hustle. It means pairing hustle with patience and curiosity. It also means recognizing traps. Loan apps will market themselves as lifesavers, but many are traps in disguise. Their adverts encourage you to borrow for rent, for lifestyle, for wants. Don't blame the ads. They are just selling. But you must know the difference. Debt that expands you versus debt that enslaves you. Second, systems. Systems are the guardrails that protect your progress. My father's ledgers looked outdated when I was younger, but now I see them as sacred. Track your money. Pay yourself first. Automate savings if you can, so your future self is never left begging. Start small if you must. Even the tiniest consistent seed beats the biggest occasional gesture. Compounding is quiet, but it is relentless. Third, learning. Learning is the engine that keeps you growing. That 30K dividend made me celebrate, but celebration isn't competence. Excitement gets you to the starting line, but only learning keeps you running. I had to humble myself, read, study, enroll in courses, ask questions, stop faking knowledge, build it instead. Because here's the truth. The market is neutral. It doesn't owe you anything. Your understanding, your wisdom is what turns opportunity into wealth. And so today, I'm still learning, still growing, still making mistakes, but fewer than before. What gives me joy now isn't just financial wins. It is the discipline of becoming someone who values process over performance. It is watching friends I have encouraged celebrate their first tiny dividend. Their wins feel like mine. It is knowing that I no longer consume all my dividends. I reinvest them quietly, patiently, trusting that years from now, those little seeds will become trees. And here's what I want you to take away from this. 1. It is never too late. If you're breathing, you can begin. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. 2. Treasure is often hidden in plain sight. That skill, that small habit, that overlooked account It may be the seed of your future. Don't despise small beginnings. 3. Excitement isn't enough. Excitement sparks the fire, but wisdom keeps it burning. Strategy, patience, and discipline matter far more than hype. I am not a guru. I am a fellow traveler. I've made mistakes. I've also learned lessons that changed me. And now I'm inviting you to learn with me. So let's plant seeds of wisdom today. Let's water them with discipline, protect them with knowledge, because tomorrow rewards the hands that prepare. Until next time, keep your mind curious and your wealth intentional.